This is the Noro Striped Scarf. The pattern is on Ravelry. It's put there by Jared Flood. His blog is Brooklyn Tweed. It's not his pattern, but he's put it out there. And I had some questions about the edge stitches on this scarf, and hopefully this will help you if you have any of the same questions as well. It's basically a striped scarf that's done in a knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, 1x1 ribbing, so that you can see it's a 1x1 ribbing. You work over an odd number of stitches doing the knit, purl, and you work back. And on the way back, you're going to slip the first stitch and the last stitch purl-wise. Those would be purl stitches if you were to just work them normally. So on the back side, it's purl, knit, ending with a purl. Obviously on the front side, it starts with a knit, it ends with a knit because you're in an uneven number of stitches. So let's show you how to do that. I'm starting a red stripe here, and I start with a knit and a purl. I knit continental, so you see I carry my yarn in the left hand, but I'll be moving the yarn back and forward in front of and behind the needle as I knit and I purl. At the end of my 31 stitches, I have a knit and a purl, and the last stitch going this way is a knit. At that point, what you want to do is you want to turn the work with the pointy end towards you, and you'll see we're ready to work back. This first stitch here would normally be a purl, but like I said, in this pattern, on the second row of the stripe, we are going to slip the first stitch purl-wise. It's very important that you carry this yarn in the front of your work. Even though your first actual worked stitch is this second one and it's knit, don't get lazy like I was doing and carry the yarn behind thinking it doesn't matter. Pull that knit, that first stitch purl-wise, and then start knitting. Because what ends up happening is you get a little ugly edge. I can show you on the beginning of the scarf. The edge is a little bit on the ugly side, and it has some extra kind of knots and stuff along the edge. If you carry the yarn as you're supposed to, you can see where it changes here, and carry it at the front of the work for a purl and slip that stitch, then that extra yarn gets buried in the ditch between the first and the second stitch, and you don't get this ugly rough edge here. Okay, so we're starting the second row of the stripe, and like I said, we are slipping that stitch purl-wise. Then we can move the yarn to the back and continue with our knit, purl to the end of this row. End of this second row, we have a knit, and remember we're going to end with that purl, but we're going to just slip the stitch. Again, it's really important that you bring the yarn forward like you do in a purl situation and slip that last stitch. When you bring the yarn forward, that leaves your tail here on this side of the work. And again, when you change colors now, that's going to help hide that yarn so it's not hanging off the back, and then when you come to work that next stripe in red, you're going to be wondering what to do with the yarn in the meantime. So don't forget, on this last stitch that you're slipping purl-wise, make sure that your yarn to the ball is held in the front while you slip that last stitch. Okay, so as we turn the work again towards ourselves, here's a thing to note as well. We're going to be switching colors now because they change every 2 rows. Let's bring this old color back across the back of the work, get it out of the way, and I'm going to move my balls around here so that they're correct. We're ready to start with this bluish color, and I can bring it up and start working my next stripe. And this other old color is still off to the left and out of the way. Okay, and it's surprising how that color then just disappears. And when you start to work, you're going to start with the knit again, because we're on this side of the work. We're knit, purl, ending with the knit. And you work that first one, not too loose so you don't have anything hanging out, and just continue on the way you did the previous stripe. Now, if I turn this over, you can see by slipping that last stitch of the previous stripe, you get a nice long stitch here on the edges, and it looks like these stitches are just one row of knitting, but actually these stitches cover both the row going over and the row coming back, so you get a nice even neat edge here. And if we turn it all the way over, you'll see that my red is here ready to move up, and I moved that green up, but you can see it doesn't really show where I moved it up. It's really nice and neat, that edge. And by keeping our yarn at the front when we slip the purls, the first and the last one on the second row, that takes care of those edges and keeps them nice and neat. And that's it. Just remember, odd number of rows, only slip on the second row, at the beginning and the end of the second row, and always when you're slipping those purls, keep the yarn to the front of the work.